1, 2, 3.
All right, we chilling.
All right. So Darius. So how'd the workout go today? This morning?
Man, I'm still fucking sore from that workout. Not just the workout this morning. The workout this morning just made it worse. But the workout we did the other day, where you had me doing those like half squats on the plate with the 45-pound dumbbell.
Yeah.
I've never done something like that, but
After the workout.
yeah, that's the real deal.
And that was after the workout.
Yeah.
That's like the finishers, and that's what we gotta add those into everything. Every day, kind of have to have a finisher of some sort. When we're hitting the weights.
That's good though, because that's what I need. I notice like when I get real low like that, especially when I'm wrestling, my knees will pop.
Right.
And those like little back and forth movements will help with my knees and hips and ankle mobility.
Absolutely.
So I do need them.
And 0 point strength, like point from at the bottom point, from being on small, compact strength to be able to sprawling out. Critical, very critical. All right, so let's get right into it. Team Japan. What's your? You give me 2 minutes explanation of what you believe Team Japan did in the Olympics with wrestling.
They didn't stop wrestling. So there's one contrast difference I've seen. I mean, I'm not generalizing all of either's team. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain. I see more of it from the American wrestlers. Not all of them, but I see more of it from them than I did the Japanese wrestlers. But one big contrast was that those Japanese wrestlers, they don't stop wrestling.
Right.
When they're down, they're coming at you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't stop wrestling at all.
Right. Non-stop movement.
When they're up, they don't stop. When they're up, they don't stop wrestling. They keep wrestling. I've seen a lot of like, for example, Aaron Brooks. He lost a close match. He got turned with 4 seconds left. He was winning, I think, 4-2. He shot a low single and he was in deep. And he was just sitting there, and that's a compromising position. And if he would have just kept wrestling in that moment, he probably would have won gold. But because he lost that match, what the Bulgarian guy did, he locked in his crotch and flipped him over and exposed him for 2.
Right.
4 seconds left, and he was winning. So he won on criteria. And I think if he would have beat him, he would.
What was the name of that guy?
Because that Bulgarian.
What was the name of the guy he lost to?
It starts with the M. It's not Mohammed. It's like.
I know.
I'm not sure.
I see.
Look it up real quick.
I'm looking it up right now. And he was winning that match.
Yeah, he was winning. He was winning the whole match. The Bulgarian dude got him in a bow and arrow. I don't know if you know what that is, but I'll try to explain it. It's when you get so you basically take, if you're on top of somebody, right? You take say I take a dude's back left leg, I curl it from up behind me. I have his heel in my, like, can you picture this?
Mm-hmm.
I have dude's heel, his left heel in my armpit like this. I got his leg cup like this. Maybe when you edit this video, you could like just show up.
Yeah, I'll put it. Yeah, it's on the screen right now. Go ahead.
But he had his heel in his armpit, and he was just wrenching. He had his neck too. He was just wrenching him over. I've been put in a bow and arrow by my coach. That shit hurts. So from that point, he didn't turn over, which was it shows how tough he is.
Right.
But I know that shit hurt.
Right.
You could see the expression on his face after he got up. But from that moment, the tide of the match kind of turned into the Bulgarian dude's favor.
Right. Yeah, I'm watching it right now. He's up right now, 1-0 with 20 seconds left in the first period. So the 20 seconds left.
I think that same dude, he teched the guy in the final. I'm not for certain, but I'm pretty sure he ran through his finals match.
Wait, Brooks is up 3-0 right now, going into the second. And how did he
Yeah.
lose? How did this guy
How'd he
score?
lose?
How did he score so many points on him?
Well, he got a takedown, and then, like I was saying, he put him in a bow and arrow, which is like one of the most painful moves in wrestling. And Aaron Brooks did. I was like, oh shit. When I was watching, I was like, he about to get turned. But he didn't. He fought through it. But fighting through a move like that would take a lot out of you.
Right.
So after that, he looked like even JB was on the he was commentating. He was like, yeah, you can tell like the pace is gone because
Right.
like that shit hurt.
Right. Right. And it takes so much energy. It's an energy killer. So yeah. So now, how did all those Japan guys win? Is my question. How did they all win, Darius? All of them.
So I was watching that match you told me to watch with
Mhm.
that one I don't know his name, but
Yeah, I can't
it was the
pronounce
one
it.
that got the leg lace and just teched him in like 20 seconds.
Yeah. How?
Or he didn't tech him, but he was up 10-1
He
within the
almost
first
did.
20 seconds.
It was
Yeah, he
close.
almost teched him. But yeah, that's crazy. Like, I don't know. I've never seen. They're so like unorthodox. That's one thing I noticed is like they do things that I don't see any other country doing. Really,
Me either.
I've never. At least the way he got the leg lace, he had like I've never seen something like that. You should throw that up on the screen too.
Me either.
Show
Ever.
them.
I've never
Clip
seen
is
it.
sweet.
I've never seen that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I said I've never seen. I never like their style. All of it. I've never seen it. Like I've never have.
That's what makes him so dangerous. Is like if you wrestle people. In America, you're used to, you know what to expect. But when you go overseas and you wrestle somebody who's doing all this unorthodox shit that you've never had to, I guess, build a strategy around, it's going to be way different. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So I think that's one reason why they were successful this Olympics is because, one, they're unorthodox, and two, they don't stop wrestling even when they're up. Aaron, like I said, he lost with 4 seconds left because he stopped wrestling.
Right.
But
well, yeah, Aaron Brooks.
I don't know if I gotta watch the Spencer Lee match again. I don't know if he was up before. I don't know if he was. No, I don't think he was up. I don't think he was up. I think he was already losing. Yeah, he was already losing.
Yeah.
But Spencer. But that proves my point. Spencer was trying. He was trying to get to an attack, but the Japanese guys' defense was so good.
Man.
I noticed they all keep their elbows in when they wrestle.
They do.
They have really tight square stances.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't let no underhooks, none of that.
And they stay low too.
They're super low too. And like once they get up, it's gonna be really hard to catch them back, get back up on points on them. They're just really good at position, really good at moving and hand fighting.
Right. But my question,
I think those are.
My question is, Brooks is still up with 25 seconds left. And I don't understand how. It ain't over yet. Why would he take the guy down? Did the lady try to like?
No, that's a problem that a lot of wrestlers have is when they're up. I've done this before. I've lost like that before. I've been winning and then I just shoot in and try to stall out, but it can cost you. You'll see.
Man, I just watched him flip Aaron Brooks over. How did he even do that?
Yeah, he went boom, just rolled through. That's sweet.
This is crazy.
That's why I love freestyle. Freestyle is so like in folk style. You can get away. See, like in folk style, he still would have won that match. He could have stalled.
Right.
And freestyle is way harder to stall.
Right. They give you those.
Passivity.
Yeah. Immediately too. Yeah. You have to be going forward.
Trying to create action like no tomorrow. You
Right.
only have, I don't know if you know this, but when you take somebody down in freestyle, you only have like 10 seconds to turn them before they stand you back up in neutral. In folk style, you got all the time in the world. You can go a whole period
Right. Right.
without
Right. Right.
being on your feet.
And then in college you get writing time, correct?
Yeah, if you ride for, I think, a minute, yeah, yeah. So if you
Yeah.
ride for over a minute, you get 1 point at the end of the match.
Right. That's what. So is
I was watching a match between Mitchell Messenbrink and David Carr, and they were the 165 pounders
mm,
um, this past year at the NCAA. And Mitchell was it was tied 8-8, and Mitchell was on bottom. He didn't know that David had a writing time point. So at the end of the match, he gets up and he's just looking like, "What the hell? What's going on?" And then
game
they raised David's hand, and he was like, "Ah, shit."
the point.
But yeah, the point
Yeah.
that happened to me. That
When
happens to everybody.
oh that you then you get that
I
point.
wrestled at. You said what?
I said you lost because of that point or whatever.
Yeah. Back in September, I went to this dual tournament in Georgia. It was a big tournament called Elite Eight, and I was wrestling in this. I think he's like a 3-time Georgia state champ, and we were tied like 2-2. And because this was like this tournament was like set up college rules, and it was the first time that I ever wrestled college rules before. Because regular high school rules, you don't have riding time, you don't have. It was 3-point takedowns. We don't have 3-point takedowns in regular high school.
Right, there's 2 point.
What else? Those are mainly the biggest two, but yeah, I got up. I was ready to go. I got back in my stance, like I was about to scrap, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's over, guys. Shake each other's hands." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I really just so."
Yeah, no OT. So I got all right, so let's start the question. What style you think helps you for college soccer? I mean wrestling.
What style
Yeah. Like any
would
discipline.
help me, or in general?
You specifically. In any discipline. It could be judo, it could be taekwondo, it could be
I see what
Muay
you're saying.
Thai. Yeah.
Um, I would say, honestly, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but gymnastics.
Why? Flexibility.
I used to do gymnastics. Yeah. I used to do a lot of gymnastics when I was younger, and that's where I got my flexibility from. I can bend my knees all types of different ways.
Right.
Almost hit the splits.
Ankle.
Quite,
You got
but,
really good ankle flexibility too.
yeah. So like being able to do like different, like, because you got to think, like, if somebody gets your people be shooting on me in practice, they can put my leg will be all the way above my head like this.
Right.
Most people they can't handle that. It's painful.
Right.
But I feel like the best wrestlers in the world, they have that flexibility that allows them to get out of certain positions. Otherwise, they would be compromised in. You know what I'm saying? So I would say definitely like gymnastics is, and it's not just like me. I'm saying for everybody. I think gymnastics would be I think every wrestler should do gymnastics,
right?
Or at the very least, like,
that should be the start,
yoga or some shit.
Or even start with gymnastics.
Exactly.
Right.
But it prevents injuries and all that. So.
And I think you should do yoga if you're an athlete, no matter what, to keep your flexibility and elasticity. So I got another question. So you look at baseball, and then when kids grow up in baseball, they focus on 5 tools, right? Hitting, running, pitching, catching, and then what? You know what the next one is?
Batting.
Sorry, hitting. Running.
Oh, you said hitting.
Hitting, batting, catching, and then what's the fifth?
I don't know.
You don't know what the fifth one is? So running. What are we doing baseball? Pitching.
Slide.
Huh? Running.
Sliding. I don't know.
Pitching, batting, catching. What's the next one for baseball?
The only other thing I can think of is sliding.
You gotta throw the ball, bro. It's not pitching. You gotta
You
throw.
said pitching.
That's pitching. Pitching is a
That's
pitcher
what
at the
I'm saying.
mound. But when you out in the outfield, you gotta throw from first to second. You gotta throw from second to third. You gotta throw from outfield to infield. Does that make sense? But then the fifth
Yeah.
component is pitching. Pitching is the only component you can have in baseball that can supersede your ability to have to be good at the other four. That makes sense. But the other four
Yeah.
have to go together because they have pitchers only in baseball. So now, if you convert that to wrestling, what would be the tools in wrestling that every great wrestler will
That you
have?
absolutely need.
Yep. You already said one, I believe, flexibility.
I said flexibility, and um, this is universal. Everybody needs this. I mean, I can't think of one wrestler who doesn't have this. Because like flexibility, I've seen wrestlers. I've seen like Spencer Lee. He had two torn ACL and MCLs, and he couldn't even shoot. He couldn't barely even sprawl, but he still won somehow. So I would say flexibility. I mean, it's important, but it's not a must-have. I will say a must-have is that you have that you're aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like you're hungry. You're looking to get the next point. You're looking to create action, and you don't lose your confidence when you get scored on or you get hit in the face.
Right.
It's like it's about just keeping that energy, emotion the whole match, so that you know what I'm saying, you break the other guy or
Right.
see what you can do. So I would say being aggressive is very important. And then
most of the good wrestlers I see are very, very aggressive. Very.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So aggressiveness, and two, I would say universally, but aggressiveness is like that's set in stone. You need that. But the second one could be subjective. It could be flexibility. It could be technique. It could be strength. It could be really anything else. You know what I'm saying?
It could. All those could be it too. How many wrestlers is in strong? That's elite.
Say it again.
How many elite wrestlers that is not strong?
They're all really strong.
Very strong. Especially for their weight class compared to the guys that they're wrestling against. They're usually pretty strong.
Yeah.
That's critical.
Some are strong in ways that you wouldn't expect. Right. Like a lot of I've seen some videos of Spencer Lee's training. I didn't see him lift any weights really.
Right.
Not that much. I mean, he did some bench. But he was using a kettlebell, like a 60-pound kettlebell, and he was going like this.
Right.
On a flat surface, improving his wrist and grip strength.
Right.
And then he was doing 8 rope climbs in a row, up and down, without stopping. And then he was hitting 40 pull-ups in a row.
Right.
And it's just like that. What kind of strengthening is that? I can't think of the word right now, but you know what I'm talking about. The body strength and
that's pure strength. That's
grip strength.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah, grip strength, correct. And grip strength, especially when in wrestling, because everything in wrestling requires you to grab the person, and if you let go, you usually don't score, or they score, or they get away. And I watch a lot of guys, like even Brooks here compared to him in wrestling in college. Obviously, these are the best, guys in the world, but you see the difference, and he can take from this wrestling even the wins and take that, and like that can be his next 4 years of the things he needs to do to get to that next level. You know what I mean? And he's strong as hell. But I think some of those guys, like that guy he lost to, that guy was stronger than Brooks was.
Oh hell yeah!
By a lot. And that guy was going to hurt Brooks. Just so you know, like I
Yeah,
think,
he's gonna he detach his spine.
oh,
His
he
his
was
spine.
going for pains and suffering, and but at the same time,
But that's
like,
what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. That's the aggressiveness of wrestling.
and now,
And
now
what did Aaron Brooks do? Aaron Brooks looks tough as fuck, but what did he do? He slowed down. It kind of broke him in a way.
he
So
didn't,
it gave the Bulgarian enough confidence to finish the match. You
and
know what I'm saying? He could have just been like, fuck it. He's under my leg. I don't want to. It's over with.
the Bulgarian was trying to finish him. He was literally trying to split him in two, bro. Like literally. And I never really seen anybody, and I've watched a lot of Aaron Brooks matches, but I've never really seen someone physically dominate him like that. I haven't. Not like that.
Me neither.
Not like that, bro. And it really was nothing he can do about it. I mean, it just really was nothing. I think he was kind of holding on at the end so the guy wouldn't grab his legs and detach him from his body. But I mean, again, like you got 3 more years to get ready.
I definitely think he would have won gold if he would have won that match.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but he
But it
lost
just
that.
shows how tough. It really shows how tough he is. He came all the way back and won bronze.
Right.
Even after that.
Right.
After getting hurt and losing a tough match like that,
And
it shows like the mental capacity that he has as a wrestler.
right. The finish with the win. And he really lost that. He lost that match in 30 seconds, 35 seconds total. He dominated the whole match except for that 35-second period. Right at the end of the first period. I mean, right in the middle of the second period, and then right at the end of the second period. The 30 seconds he lost it, gone. I was listening to something from Will Smith, and he said when you get to like 90%, you've made it halfway. You halfway there. And what he said is that the going from 0 to 90 is the same distance from going from 90 to 100. And he said that difference from going from 90 to 100 is the difference between being good and being great. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
Now, my question to you again is um, what separates not just wrestlers, but athletes in general from being good and great in your eyes?
Most people are just okay with just being able to play at a high level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of people don't have a mentality where they want to be the best and they're willing to do anything and everything to make that sacrifice so that they can be the best, call themselves the best. Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's basically
the biggest difference that I see from my perspective, from like a college perspective. That's the biggest difference that I see. I see some kids are just content with being on the wrestling team,
right,
and
being on the football team,
that's okay.
Being on the basketball team,
any sport really
never starting,
okay, you know?
just wearing the jersey, mediocre effort, mediocre practice habits, mediocre training habits. You know, everything is mediocre, but good enough to get them there and good enough to be there. And they do just enough to not get kicked off the team, but not enough to excel. My question is why? Why do you think? Why do you think? Did it ever happen? Do you ever see guys at DCC that had just as much talent as you or Gilchrist, or Coleman and those guys before you guys? Did you see guys that had just as much talent but they didn't work as hard as you guys?
All the time.
Like what's the pushing factor to push you over from good to great?
It's all about what you want. If you don't really want it, okay, well, some people say they want it, but they don't really want it because their habits and what they're doing on Friday and Saturday doesn't align with what they say they want.
Right.
So realistically, the person who is like doing the things that they know they need to be doing, right, but also avoiding the things that they know they should be avoiding,
right,
so that it doesn't impede on where they're trying to go, because there's certain things that can block you off from what you really want.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people, that maybe they can't give up some things. Maybe they're attached to an old lifestyle or an old way of training or whatever it might be.
Right.
So it's about letting go of some things and growing in order to, you know what I'm saying, in order to, you need to empty your cup before you can fill it again, and
Right.
so on. That's how you,
Right.
you know, you learn new things and you grow, and that's a part of life, not just wrestling.
In
So
general. And you know what's crazy? Because that's exactly what Will Smith said. He said that his son was a chronic and straight B student, and he goes that the his son goes Jaden. He goes, Dad. He's like, I can get an A if I want it. It just and he's like, no, you can't. I promise you, you can't be an A student. He said because you have to give up some friends, you have to eat better, you have to drink different, everything. You have to change your life to go from being good to great. Because being good, you might just be naturally talented. You don't need nothing to change you from doing that. You're just blessed with that, and your parents help you, and you kind of imparted that to take you to the next phase, and now you're just going to be a student or whatever. It's like, man, you got to give up everything. You got to completely change who you are to move from that 90% to the 100%. And I agree with him 100%, like 100%.
yeah, upgrade.
And I'm looking at like the kids that I went to high school with and the kids that I went to college with. Right off the bat, when I got to high school, I observed everybody because I transferred to East Lansing when I was in 10th grade. I observed how everybody like worked hard and they like thought process. And the guys that would go from 2 days to middle of the day, they'd go and work out and then go to the next 2 days. Like I saw none of those guys was serious. So I was like, oh, I know I'm about to start, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
know this is about to happen, and so obviously I started as a sophomore. Once soon as I got to CMU, bro, literally just like you did, just like we talked about the first time. When I showed up, freshmen show up before all the upperclassmen. I showed up. We watched these guys work out. I watched how serious they were in the training room. I watched how serious they were making it to practice at the beginning. Within 2 days of the older guys showing up and pads being on, you know what I said? I was like, I promised before because I know I was already redshirting, but I was like, when I'm redshirt freshman, I'll be starting, and I'll be starting come spring ball. Just in my head, I was like, there's not 22 guys that's better than me. I don't know what position I'm starting at, Darius, but I knew I was going to be starting. Now, at the time, I weighed 178 pounds. Okay. Okay. I knew at some point I'm going to have to get to 200 pounds. I just knew to play. I was either going to play at safety or I was going to play at running back. 200 pounds I had to get to. So guess what I had in my head? The only thing that was stopping me from playing is to what? I had to gain 20 pounds.
wait.
That was it. These niggas ain't stopping me. None of these.
I'm sure that shit was miserable, huh?
What? Gain the weight?
Putting on that much weight, yeah.
Nah, so I woke up every day at 1 o'clock in the morning, and every day at 4 o'clock in the morning, I ate two peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, one at each time, and drank the half a cup of milk every day. So every day at the cafeteria, I'll make two peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, put them in a plastic bag, and get a glass of milk, and I'll take it to my room, and that's what I would eat at night every day. Okay, every day, like 1 and 2 in the morning. I mean 4 in the morning. And if I went out like party, I would always come home at 1 because that was my only focus. So I just did that, and then I ate 5,000 calories a day throughout the course of the day, and I drank my 12 glasses of water. So I ate 5,000 calories, drink 12 glasses of water, and ate those peanut butter jelly sandwiches and milk at night. That's all I did, and I weighed 208 pounds in December when spring ball happened. And guess what I was doing fall the very next year? Starting at nickel and dime linebacker, and then eventually, before the season was over, I was a full-time starter. It's just how it works. But again, guess what I had to do? I had to get up before everybody else. I had to show up before everybody else. I did extra workouts in the weight room at the student weight room. We worked out in the morning. I did extra workout in the evening. I ain't had no choice. But at the same time, just like Will Smith said, just like you said.
So you knew where you wanted to be.
Yep.
But you knew what it took to get there.
100%.
So you had like
100%. 100%.
You had a plan
Yep.
of action. You saw what the guys who weren't
yep.
doing good or weren't starting or weren't.
No, they were doing.
You had leaders on your team. I'm sure you had guys that were doing the right thing.
This will happen. When I got there, my freshman year, we lost every single game. Okay. After that, you're getting to the point where they're like, "Yo, we want to put." I'm like, "Hell no, I don't want to put my red shirt. I'm gonna just wait till next year." We 0-5. There's no point in me playing. Yeah. Plus, these guys on some bullshit. I don't want to play with those guys, man. I want to play where I'm in front of the team calling the defensive plays. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to play with these dudes.
Yeah.
Everything changed, man. So when the next year when I am playing, guess what? My buddy Tadero France starting that corner, same place, same recruiting class as me. Wayne Dudley starting at the other corner, weak corner, same recruiting class as me. Brian Ligib starting at safety, same recruiting class as me. I'm starting at linebacker. We had another guy rotating in at DN, same recruiting class. We had an offensive lineman starting, two offensive linemen actually starting at offensive line. We had a fullback that was starting, and then we had a receiver that was rotating in and out, but he was a freshman, but he came in the spring, so he was our guy. You feel me? With us, and we all kind of worked out together because we were freshmen. We knew because these guys were doing that loser mentality shit. They wasn't getting. So we had to be there at say 5 in the morning. They were getting there at 4:50, 4:52. I'm there at 4 o'clock, beating the equipment guy in before he opened up. Because I wanted to see how cats rolled in. By the time people rolled in and getting ready, I'd already warmed up and did some sprints. You feel me? Or at this point, these guys would let me get in the weight room and I could get some arms in. You feel me? Because I never really did arms. Always did arms by themselves. I just do. That's how I was. I was just way different than that. Plus, I get in there and we used to have like bananas and granola bars and stuff like that. I just go in there and smack all.
You want to get first dibs on it?
Smack all. You know what I'm saying? The honey granola bar. Oh, smack. 5, 6 granola bars, 4 bananas. And then I bring juice and then leave it in the fridge. Bro, I love those guys. But I'll always talk to Book. He's our equipment manager. And he hooked me up with the things that, we're not supposed to get. But he loved me because I was nice to him. So he'd be like, hey, Muhammad, you need one of these. I'm like, all right, yep. Like if I don't get it, I don't even complain. But if I get it, I appreciate it. Give them dap. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Every Christmas, guess what I did with Book? Christmas card. You feel me? And give him like $20 to go out the No, I'm a student, and you feel me? But guess what? All of a sudden, the next practice, guess what your boy had? Those new gloves. You feel me? You feel me? Everybody, you understand? Yeah, exactly. Because we couldn't wear nothing unless it was Book issued. So we couldn't wear any equipment unless he got it.
Were you conscious of this?
Come on, man.
Before you gave him the card, or
bro,
did you just give it to him?
Bro, he was mean to me at first because I was a high recruit, but I kind of hurt my knee playing an All-Star game, so I had the red shirt. So I hadn't proved nothing. But so he didn't even be nice to me until I earned my spot spring ball, and then all of a sudden he was just nice to me. You feel me? But me, I respected that because he was not gonna be nice to everybody. Don't give a fuck who you are. You're gonna have to earn that shit on the field, and I can respect that as a person. You feel me? So the guy Book was my man. But now my question to you is, how are you going to change the atmosphere? This is the last question. That you have a persona around you when you walking into the mat anywhere. This is how shit's going. Practice. This is how it's going.
Okay, so off the mat is just as important. So one thing I'm gonna do off the mat is make sure that I'm checking up on everybody, seeing how they're doing, like emotionally, like asking, like, hey, bro, how you feeling? Like, are you ready? Just asking, and people, like, it just shows like you're concerned with them, and that you care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot easier to win people over if they know you care. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you don't give a fuck about, you don't care what everybody is doing outside, and you want to like call shots
right.
in front of the coaches in the practice room, and do all that. It's a little, you know what I'm saying? I've had teammates like that where
right.
like they're completely different outside of wrestling, but in the room, then they want to like take control over everything, and it's
right.
hard to respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
some fake shit.
Yeah. And so I'm not gonna lie. Some of the best leaders on my team were guys that weren't even good at wrestling.
Right.
They were actually terrible.
Right.
But what they did have, they knew how to treat. They knew how to treat people. They knew how to what do they say? Make people. They knew how to make people feel important. And that's like that's you know what I'm saying, that's very important, especially in a team